Hey guys, it's Sky, and today I feel like discussing a very touchy subject for me, and I'm sure, as well as other people. And that main topic that I want to discuss with you is about having insecurity, and I'll use myself as a prime example. And you may have noticed that on Sky's Corner playlist, I have a video called, it's about insecurities. And it shows how back when I was in a brick and mortar school, I'll start off with that. I used to get bullied by certain people for the way that I guess I was different in ways that people didn't understand. I like to be unique. I like to, ask questions that the regular masses wouldn't ask. And that's what parted me from the regular kids to, having to be independent even at, younger ages. So when I made the video, I tried to connect the best I could with my younger self, and that's how I felt, because when people target your insecurities purposely, you start to get frustrated. And that brings up the end of the video that I made when the individual just took all of the makeup and just threw it. Because after people talk about you so much, it's just like, well, now I'm just getting so angry. This isn't working. I have to find something else for myself. So after that, I'll have to learn how to be in connection with myself. There's only, in my opinion, two options. Either you can stop all the way and give up, or you can push on and push forward. An example that I have was when I first learned about using makeup and putting makeup on. It was an experience. And one thing that I used to think was that, I had to wear makeup all the time. If I went out, I had to wear makeup. And even, every time I went out, I had to have some makeup on. It would be so crazy to the point where I would have to take the trash out. And in order to take the trash out, I would have to put some form of makeup on to feel comfortable or comforted in some strange way that my mind had put. And it's because the people around me, or the people that I had associated with at the time, made it seem like, well, makeup is the number one thing that you're supposed to have. And I'm not talking about, the mature people. I'm talking about specifically like the kids that I would go to school with, and how they judged people if they came out without having it on versus if they did have it on. So when I look back at my younger self, I ask, at that age, was I able to tell the definition of being natural, or was it infiltrated by other people's thoughts, and did it waver my opinion in some way? And growing up being around so much negativity from other kids, I could personally say that it did waver at some points. I could say that it didn't in some areas, and I could say that it did. And in that happening, I personally had to grow to find my natural self again, because it got stripped by the media's opinions and by other people's opinions. And when you're in the maturing stage, you really pay attention to the stuff that other people say, because I wanted to fit in at the time because I was so different in the ways that I now accept. So I used the song J. Cole, I used the artist J. Cole because he's my favorite artist, and I put his song Cricket Smile on because it talks about being natural in your own way and being okay with being natural. And you don't always have to put on this fake facade in order for people to accept you. And if they don't accept you when you aren't wearing the facade, or if you just delete the facade, then they're not your true friends. And when you go through that process, it's difficult, especially if they're friends that you've grown up with or have known for years. Just because you decide to say, no, I'm gonna make a change, and I'm gonna start believing in myself, and I'm going to start being who I am, and healing myself inside and out from all the scars that I've had when I was younger. If they can't accept that, then you shouldn't associate with them anyway. I had an experience that was relating to the text message that you guys probably seen in the video, and how that person that texted the individual in the video was supposed to be her friend or something like that. But that's not how friends should react and talk to you. They should talk to you with a sense of respect. And that's something that when I was younger, like I said, I wanted to supposedly fit in so bad to the point where I didn't pay attention to the subliminal messages that they were sending me at that time. And it's not even like the girls that I would hang around with were that elite in their status, because their families would go through hard times too. But when they pointed me out specifically, and I was the only person that looked like I had an issue at that time, it really made me want to push to show them that I was different, but not in my own positive way. It made me want to push to make it look like I was different in their eyes instead of my own. And that's the one thing that made me different from when I was younger to today. And being homeschooled is a really big plus for me, because I get to inner reflect being homeschooled is a very big step for me. It's a moving forward moment, because I get to inner reflect a lot. And I don't have to settle for other people's opinions on what they think about me. I would have to go through so much stuff and so much hate and dislike just because I would hold the class up for a few extra minutes to ask a question in history class or math class because I didn't get it. And you're always gonna have those people that want to settle for less because they don't feel like they want to go out of the box that they're in to try to understand a little bit more of something that they were just taught. So in that video, I really wanted to express the type of anger that I had went through as well, and for example, when she went into the bathroom and she washed her face, and that's how you start your morning. You usually start it good, you wake up feeling refreshed, but as soon as that one person calls you or texts you and they say something bad about your character, well, for me, in my opinion, at that moment, like I said, being in school, it just made me feel, well, I gotta sharpen something about me, because obviously I was ugly yesterday or something. That's what she texted me, or that's what was in the video. And then I put it in my mind that, oh, well, I have to hurry up to try to change this, that, whatever, before 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, because I got to go to the bus stop. But I don't know how I'm going to do that. And all this stuff is just rushing through my mind. And that gets me having to have depression, anxiety. It makes me have to have low self-esteem. It makes me have to have all that stuff. And it's just, at the end of the day, when you lay down and you're inner reflecting with yourself and you rub all the makeup off your face, you find out that it's useless anyway. It's useless. So whenever I would, like I said, go out someplace, I would always have to make sure, there's nothing wrong with upkeeping your person and upkeeping your character, but it's to a certain extent where you're not obsessing like how I was about how I appeared to other people. Now, I'm not saying that when I was younger I used to be this ghetto person who just went out and girl, no, I wasn't that type of person. I was just the kid who always went in with the positive outlook on life. I'm gonna learn something new. I'm gonna meet with the people I call my friends and start a better day than it was yesterday. But hearing the one complaint from one person could lower your everything about that day. And that's also what I feel I have moved from giving people the opportunity to down my day. I mean, I still have a lot to work on with that. I mean, because it hurts when people say that stuff to you. I'm sure it hurts a lot of people, but if you come to that crossroads, I mean, you have to try to think about how can you take what they said and make it positive for you. Because, I mean, I know it may sound like, but I was younger at the time. I was younger, 12, 11, 10, and then it would go up from there, but then it would stop at a certain age, and then it would come back up at a certain age. And it's just like, why? Why should I have to be going through this when every person has their issue, but yet when I call the specific person out on their issue, I get, people throw sticks and bones at me, or whatever that saying is, sticks and stones at me, and I'm just supposed to be okay, but yet I was the person that got picked on first. But yet when it gets turned around and you say something about the other person that's in the here and now reality instead of something that's just made up, that's when they start getting angry, and that's when they start going deeper into their bullying mechanisms. And it's not fair to even start with. It's not fair. I mean, who put it in the thoughts of children that it's okay to have to work up just to be where you are in life? I mean, not like, how can I put it? To have to prove to somebody else that you're able to even be in the decency of being in the same place with the so-called elite person. Who put it in the minds of children that it's okay to judge? And they're the same age as you. They're not older. Who puts it in the mind of the youth to think that it's okay to just talk about somebody just because they're having an issue, make fun of that issue, and then go about their day happy just because they picked on somebody about an issue that was supposed to be their issue? They were supposed to deal with it. The individual was supposed to deal with it themselves. If you go to school, you go to school to learn stuff. You go to school to enlighten your own mental self. You don't go to school to get picked on. You don't go to school to get bullied. You go to school to do just that. You're not even supposed to go to school to associate. You're supposed to go learn a certain thing. But when you're like I was, I, at a lot of different points in my life, made my so-called associates the center of my focus. And I can say that that's what helped me back. That is what helped me back. And my decisions on what I chose to put my focus on. That's also what helped me back. And paying attention so heartedly on what other kids, mind you, my same age, would think about me. And it's now that I look back on the moment, it's crazy. A lot of people would be able to just laugh it off. But I'm not that type of person. I am growing into that type of person. I'm trying my best to become that type of person. But when it's just, when do you get to the point where you get so frustrated to where you just want to let it all go? You just want to scream and let it all out. But the thing is, after you get done screaming and letting it all out, and this is the crossroads that I'm at, I mean, you still got to deal with certain energies because they live on the earth too. So it's just like you have to learn how to turn your energy, like how wisdom says, and use it for your positive self. Because if you don't, then this world will take you, eat you up, and spit you out. And it'll leave you with nothing. But at the end of the day, if you can take all of the makeup off and the facade, take it down, the only thing that matters is if you're happy and excited about who you're waking up to be the next morning. And you can say that I'm waking up to be me. And that's the positive thing that keeps me moving. Not what Angela says, not what Patty says, not what Patrick says, not what Latifah says. It's me. It's me. And that's what matters. Under everything else, everything that's happening, I still have my own person to take care of, which is me. And I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it with a smile on my face and a hip in my step. So for all of the listeners on Emerald, I hope this helped you some way. I know that it has helped me. And see you next time, peeps. Stay natural.